Welcome. In front of me I have the BLACKVIEW Tab 13, and today I'll go over unboxing and a quick look at this tablet. So anyway, without further ado, let's get straight into it. Do we have any useful information on here? We have info that it's 4G. Android 12, 10.1 inches display, Full HD Plus IPS, MediaTek processor, octa-core, 2 GHz, 8 megapixel camera and 13 rear, 7280 mAh battery, and 6 GB of RAM with 128 gigs of storage. Anyway, let's just get straight into it and actually get a look at this. Oh, interesting. So, wait, that's actually glass. So that is interesting. So they included a hefty... What? That's wild. Anyway, having a little bit too much fun with the sleeve pulling itself back on. Anyway, so yeah, we get a tempered glass for free. The device comes with already a pre-applied foil, and I don't mean the one that has writing on it. I'm talking about the one that is under it. I can pull it off without actually just try to get into it. Yeah, I pulled off a little bit too much. Let's try to. Ah, there we go. So now we just get our full display. That didn't come off perfectly, but anyway. I will turn it on so we can have something to look at in a moment. Now, under here we get some paperwork, so let's be honest, no one cares about that. We get a charging cable, Type-C. Nice. We get our brick, if we can call that a brick. It's, what is it? Oh, 10 watts, so it's pretty garbage, and you probably have a better one lying at home, and that's about it. So let's get into the device, which has booted up now. I'm gonna go through a quick setup just so we can actually see how the OS looks like on here, if they have some kind of egregious skinning on it or not. Now, while I'm actually going through the setup, let's quickly talk about the display right here. I did talk about briefly from what was written on the box, but the full specs of it, it's an LCD IPS display. It's 10.1 inches, a 78.6% screen to body ratio, with a resolution of 1200 by 1920, which puts it at 224 pixels per inch. So that's basically all the screen specs, not much more to be honest, but it gives you a little bit more insight in it. So the resolution right here is pretty decent. It doesn't say anything about the brightness, but for indoor usage, I would argue it's pretty good. Obviously outside in sunlight, you might struggle to see the display, considering this is right now the brightest it can get. And it's honestly not that bright. For indoor usage, like I said, it's okay. For outdoor usage, not so much. Okay, now I'm gonna take off the cover. That comes already like pre-installed onto the device, just so we can see the actual full device. So at the back we have what looks like a plastic back, or could be aluminum to be honest, I have no clue. The frame, definitely plastic. Then we get some pogo pins for a keyboard, so you could just kind of like slap it in a keyboard and have more like a laptop-ish experience on this. Now quickly going over each side, here we have a power button, volume rockers, I believe that's a microphone. Then at the bottom we have our Type-C charging port, our SIM/SD tray, I believe at least there is an SD tray. Yep, so we have SIM and SD tray like I mentioned. I was kind of guessing on that one. We have our speakers. Then on our left side, we get the little pogo pins and little holes right here for the keyboard, like I mentioned. Nothing at the top here. And at the top of the device, we do have another speaker grill, and that's about it. So going into the internals, we do have a Helio G85 processor with 6 GB of RAM. I did mention the RAM, and 128 GB of storage that comes with the device, expandable with an SD card further if you need more. We have a dual camera at the back, which the main one will be a 13 megapixel and the secondary one is the 2 megapixel. It doesn't really state what they are, but I could only guess that one, the bigger one, is the wide one. That's the 13 megapixel wide, and then the 2 megapixel could be probably either macro or depth sensor. I would probably guess more towards depth sensor. Though keep in mind, I'm just guessing, it doesn't really state what these are, so I'm just trying to, from I guess vast experience of other devices, guess that this is most likely going to be a depth sensor. Now, with those cameras, you can shoot at 1080p 30 frames, and then at the front you have another camera, a selfie one right here, and that is an 8 megapixel, I presume also a wide sensor. Now it doesn't really state what video recording it does. Now, anything else to actually mention here? We do have, like I mentioned before, a 7280 mAh battery and a 10 watt charging, and it doesn't really say if this device can charge any faster than 10 watts. So yeah, I presume based on the price probably that this device either does max 15 watts or even 10, which would be a pretty bad kind of thing. I personally like to have my devices charged at full tilt, just so I can plug it in for 10-20 minutes and have almost a full charge. But at 10 watts, you will be literally locked into a outlet charging this device. So that might be a bit of a downside for this device, the charging speed, if, like I said, if it's 10 watts. So there we go, that's basically all the info. Now, I'll just quickly get a look at the Android right here. So it looks pretty stock, I would say. It's nothing like super egregiously skinned. As you can see, it looks pretty reasonable. It has a couple bloated apps, as you can see. So we have some random ass crap right here. So it comes with a couple bloated applications installed, but I presume we can just get rid of them if we want to. And yes, we can. Bye-bye. So yeah, we can delete the bloatware. So the device seems to be pretty okay. Now keep in mind, this is a budget device and it won't be blowing you away with its performance. But if you want something for like Netflix watching, maybe email browsing or just casual web browsing, this device should do the trick and also not break your wallet. So there we go. Now, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.